Hey gang, welcome back to Let's Level Up. On the table today we have a Kickstarter preview for you for Arkon the card game. Arkon is a strategy card game that you're going to be playing less than 5 minutes and enjoying many rounds of in the future. Now what I really like about this game is a diverse cast of characters and abilities that give you so much power in such a little deck. And that's really awesome when you can squeeze that much gameplay out of just a deck of cards. Let's take a look at how the game works here on the table, and then I'll be right back here with my final thoughts. Alright, in Arkon, each player is going to be dealt 5 cards from the central draw deck, and the premise of the game is simple. You want to be the first person to successfully collect 4 different clans, and those clans are humans, elves, orcs, and dwarfs. Now, if you can't do that, you can also win the game by collecting 4 of a single type. So if I happen to get 4 elves before anybody else, I win the game. Now, this game is going to be played up to 2 to 4 players, and is one that has a lot of opportunity for awesome strategy. So let's show an example of how the game and walk through really quickly the different steps here. Alright, let's just quick deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And take a look at our hand. Now, the first phase of the game is going to be our first action phase. Now, each of the cards are going to have a couple different things here that we need to note. One, in the top right corner of the card is going to be an influence. This is used during bidding. At the bottom, this is going to be how the action card text. Now, cards can either be played as actions or they can be used for their influence value, but typically not both. So, for instance, the card piece allows us to play in response to any action card, and then counter that action. But it has no influence value, so it's really only the counter to deny someone the play. We also have thievery. Thievery can be played as 2 influence, or we can choose an opponent, look at that player's hand, and take 1 card. Could be something really good to use. We have shifting allegiances. Shifting allegiance allows us to play for 3 influence, or choose a target opponent, exchange all clans with that player, in play with that player's clans. Each player must give cards at random from their current hand equal to the number of clans taken from their opponents. So Shifting Allegiance is a very powerful card to be used kind of towards the end of the game. We have Conquest and Sabotage. We didn't actually get any clans here. So Conquest allows us to gain control of a target clan in play. Give that clan's controller 1 card at random from your hand for doing so. And then we have Sabotage. Play in response to a player winning a bid. That player must pay exactly 3 influence or you gain control of that clan, and that player still discards their bid cards. So this is a really strong card as well. So a lot of different actions we can play, but unfortunately for starting the game, not a whole lot here. So our starting hand here is going to be very basic. So the game works with our first action phase. We can play any of the cards here. And let me see if there's anything here that we can play right now that would make sense. We can go ahead and play Thievery. So let's take a look at this. We're going to play this card. We're going to take a look at our opponent's hand here, see what they've got. They have an orc, they've got a human, and they've got Tactical Reversal, Arcane Insight, and Change of Fate. So each of these... So let's go ahead and steal 1 of these cards. Let's go ahead and add the orc to our hand and then give them back. But let's take a look at what else they have. They have Tactical Reversal. It says play in response to an opponent's action card when that card will be placed in the discard pile. Instead, place it in your hand. So they technically could play this right now and take our Thievery action and put it in their hand. Maybe they want to hold on to it. Draw 2 cards, Arcane Insight, and then Change of Fate. Discard up to 2 cards and then draw cards equal to that amount of cards. Discarded plus 1. So they have a lot of drawing potential here in their hand. We're going to go ahead and take this. We took the orc, which allows us to again use that during the next phase of the game. So now that we have that underway, that is the first phase, right? I can play any number of actions that I want. And then we go on to the bidding phase. I can lay a clan face up in the middle of the table for us to bid on. then we can bid on it. Now, knowing what I know that they don't have a whole lot of cards there available for bid. With a lot of points on them, and they may not want to get away with some of the cards that they have. So I can bluff here and put a card face down and pretend that it is a ton of points, when really it's just 3. Now, the opponent knows I just looked at their hand, so they can do a couple things here. They can look at their hand and say, gosh, you know what, I really want to get that orc. I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 cards, but why would I do that, and why would I waste this? So maybe they only want to put in the 1 card. Maybe they don't want to put in any cards. So in this case, let's say they don't want to put in any. They would have the opportunity to put in as many cards as they wanted to, and then they would add their influence value. Once all players have done that, you're going to reveal the cards that you have and add your total influence. Whichever player has the most influence is going to claim the card. Now, the winning player takes all cards that they use to bid and then turns in and discards those. So basically, like, you're paying for the card whenever you win it. Every other player who didn't win those cards, win the bid, gets to bring the cards back to their hand. At the end of that, we go into the second action phase where we can continue to play cards. I don't really have any yet to really go through and make that worth my while, so I'm going to pass to that. And then we go to the final stage, which is drawing up. Now, if I put a clan in for bid, I get to draw 1 card. Then all other players get to also draw 1 card. So I get 1 and my opponent gets 1 as well. Let's take a look at what we got. We got another Thievery, and that is a promo. That is not quite used in the game. Let me take that out there. And we got Negotiation. So Negotiation is a very powerful card. And if we take a look at it, you can see why. Negotiation gets to add 8 to our bid. That is the only purpose of the card, is to win a bid. Okay. Now it is our opponent's turn. Let's see what they've got. So they got another human. They got Change of Fate. And they got Arcane Insight. So they're going to go ahead and play Arcane Insight to draw 2 cards. Now, when they do that, remember we had a card in our hand called Peace. Now this is play in response to any action card and counter that card. So we're going to play that down, and we're going to cancel their Arcane Insight, so they're going to be unable to draw more cards. A really kind of jerk thing to do. They're going to decide they don't want to really go ahead and do anything else, so they're going to put a human up for bid, and then they're going to put down 2 cards to try to win that bid. Now, we know we just got this big, strong Negotiations card, so we're going to go ahead and put 1 card down and see what happens here. They're going to flip this over. They got Tactical Reversal and Human. That's a total strength of 4. We played Negotiation. That is a strength of 8. So we're going to collect the human here, discard this. These go back in their hand, and now we are so close to winning the game. Again, play is going to proceed like this until one player has either gotten 1 of each clan type or 4 of a certain type of clan. There is a lot that goes into this game. There's a lot of opportunities for you to make decisions and to counter your opponent's decisions, and I really, really like that about Arkon. Follow me back to the game room. We're going to give you our final thoughts on this awesome Kickstarter. Well, that's it for Arkon. There's a lot to say about Arkon, isn't there? But let me first start this one quick thing. The artwork of this game is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, one of the most breathtakingly visual games for cards that I've seen. I mean, just absolutely flawless there in the different clans and abilities. So kudos, guys and gals who designed and did graphic design and the illustrations for this game, because it is awesome. It is a highly polished game in just the visual side of things, and mechanically as well. There is so much strategy that goes into Arkon, deciding when to play, when to bid, when to keep things back and kind of hold your own. The fact that I can steal your bid from you on your turn is something that's awesome. Having 2 different action phases, one at the beginning, one at the end, provides me so many opportunities to throw in strategy. So if I want to play a ton of cards at the very beginning to try to maximize my hand size, give me a lot of influence to be able to bid on that last clan that I need, I could do that. If that doesn't work out for me, I have another action phase on my turn that I can utilize to try to make up some of that lost ground. Another thing that I like is that it plays up to 4 players. I think this game's sweet spot's going to be in that 3 to 4 player range, but I played it a lot with just 2, and it works out really well there as well. This is an extremely portable game. It doesn't take a lot of table space to play, which means you can play it practically anywhere. What more can you want from a card game? Something that makes you think, something that looks visually beautiful, and on top of that, gives you the chance to counter and ruin your best friend's day. It is awesome. So take a look at Arkon's Kickstarter campaign page. I think there's a lot of stuff there to go through, and I think it's something that really spoke to me, and I can't wait to see the final product. So kudos, guys. I think you have a great game on your hands. I wish you well in your Kickstarter campaign. And if you guys like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And most importantly, game on.